Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of CAP Explained. Today we're exploring Unbound Actions. And last episode we created bound actions. So they are bounded to the books entity. You can see that we define it directly after the books projection, like add stock, change publish date, and change status. And today I want to create an unbound action. An unbound action that will be inside the service but won't be bound to any of the entities. And to declare that, simply type in the same as a bound action add discount without any parameters. You can of course use parameters for this one. And let's add it to our application. Ctrl+Shift+P, open application info, list report. I will add it on the list view page because it's an unbound action. So I want to execute it on all the entities, on all the values in the table, in the books table. So click on toolbar, actions, plus, and add actions. And after adding the action to the service, it appears here. So I'm selecting it and add. And let's add some label to it, 10% discount. That's what we'll do. And if we start the server with CDS W, you can use CDS watch, of course, also. We're gonna see that it has appeared in the list view without the label, because probably I didn't save it. So let's do it again. Toolbar actions at discount, 10% discount. Sometimes you need to click back for the application to save it. If you close it directly, I think it won't remember that. So 10% discount is here. And of course, if we click on that, we get an error because we haven't defined any handler for the add discount action. So let's go to service.js and let's type in some logic. So the same as for the bound actions, we type in this on. After the user clicks on a discount, I want you to call this function, an anonymous function, which will do something. The difference between a bound and unbound function is that we don't pass in the second parameter, the entity parameter, okay? Because this can do anything. It can just give you a pop-up or call some random logic, random anything you want, basically. Okay, so let's define the function, or let's define what it should do. And I'm gonna go with await, because an asynchronous function, await and update the books entity. And I want to set the value of price, passed in as an object for CQN, price. And as you can see, it even gives me the little help here. So the first parameter is the operator. That was the word I was looking for. So times equals. So I want to calculate the price times equals by 0.9, giving me a 10% discount. Okay. And let's see what formatting I did wrong here. Price like this. Okay. So let's see if that worked. F5 to refresh the page. And after I click, nothing happens. Something happened in the backend, but not at the front end. If I refresh the page, we're gonna see the result. But we can see, so we're gonna add the side effects at the end of the episode, don't worry. And you can see the values aren't really formatted nicely. We just get this 3 or more if we do many times. The decimals don't look good. So we need to change the query, but it isn't as simple as that. We cannot do a round function in CQN directly. We'll need to use CXN notation. So the expression notation, you can see there's a lot of different notations. And for this special case, we're going to use CXN. I will give you the link to the documentation in the description. And the difference between these two, we are leaving the update box set price, the CQN statement, but in the object that we are passing into the price, I will remove that. I will pass in the function. So I will want to do rounding by decimal places. So the first argument will be the function with the round function. So that's the first parameter. And the second one will be arguments, args, and I will pass in an array. An array to which I am passing again an object and the expression xpr. You can find it somewhere here. Let me search by case and by whole word. You're gonna find the function call for xpr and documentation right here. So I'm passing an expression, and to that expression I'm passing an array, which is an object of the reference to the value of price. Okay, so you can see how many brackets was the word I was looking for, how many brackets are there. So we are passing the same the reference to price, so the same as in the last example, but much more complicated. We're closing up the reference parameter, and now I'm passing the operator which is multiply, and I want to multiply by a number which also needs to be an object. So the number is 09. That is the factor value. Let me see if I did everything wrong. Everything right. We did one thing wrong, so the value cannot be just an empty object, because an object, of course, needs to have a property and a value. Okay, I cannot have an object with just Marcin. I need to have it like name Marcin, surname something, and so on. So the object needs to be a value of 09. Okay, this should actually work. Shift Alt F to format everything. This seems complicated, and it is complicated. Don't get me wrong here, but for this particular operation, we need to do something like that. And you can, of course, do simpler coding, but I just want to show that the possibility is here. And you can do, of course, any rounding with a for loop, just loop around the thing and calculate and do 10 separate updates. This will work fine, and it will be a little bit unoptimal, but probably simpler for reading the code. So let's click on 10% discount. Hope it doesn't explode. Refresh the page. And we're gonna see that this is rounded very nicely, but it is rounded to two decimal places. But as you can see, it trimmed the decimal places. It didn't give me some decimal values. So it's much better than having 3 decimal or 4 or more places. But I'm gonna pass in another parameter to the round function. Usually when you have an SQL and wherever, you have a round function. The first parameter is the value, and the second parameter, and by how many places do you want to round the value. So the first value here is this whole calculation, taking the price and calculating it by times 09. And the second parameter, in this case, will be the decimal places. So I want to have 2 decimal places. Probably did okay, not here, but see guys, even I struggle with that. I'm using a second screen to help myself. So this one is closing, this one is opening, and this one is the right one. Okay, so let's format this and let's see if the result is satisfying. So after we have 79, for example, and a 10% discount, gives me a very nice error, because this cannot be just a number. It needs to be an object. Again, I did the same mistake as here. Okay, so I'll just copy this. So I'm passing an object of value 2. Shift Alt F to format. And let's see. Now it definitely will work. So 79 times divided or like multiplied by 9 and 2 decimal places, 7110. Very nicely. We can see that after refreshing the page, we see the result. But we don't want the user to refresh the page. We want to have it happening automatically. Okay, and to make this happen automatically, you're gonna use side effects. So the same side effects we used in the last episode for bound actions, we can use for unbound actions. The difference is that we cannot type in particular properties because we don't have a link to the whole entity. So instead of target properties, I will use target entities. So I want to target the whole entity of books, the whole list of books for this action. And instead of this stock parameter, I'm going to start with backslash and the service name. So bookstore service dot, and this is the same for any entity you are creating. So entity container and backslash the entity name. Okay, so backslash service name dot entity container backslash service name. Okay, and this should be enough to have the result of automatical refreshing. Let's see. You can see the price automatically is refreshed and actually the whole list is refreshed. So if this action would do any differences to, I don't know, stock, book name, or status, this would also be refreshed. So you're gonna see here that we are refreshing all of the books. I'm calling give me the books, and I want to have the books list refreshed. Okay, so this is the side effect for unbound actions. Okay, guys. Sorry for this pretty complicated CXN example, even complicated for me. I don't know how anyone can handle that much, that many braces, or brackets, not braces. Braces you get for your teeth. Never mind. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode. I will push now, of course, the code to the GitHub account so you can read it in peace. Okay, thanks for watching. Like and subscription, guys. It really helps me to get motivated to record these videos. That's all for you today. I will see you in the next episode.